It's time for Recipe of the Day. I love discovering something unexpected when making a recipe. And in this case, for these sweet and spicy salmon bites, what I found out was that they are better if you don't marinate them first. So the first time I was making them, I marinated them in their like sweet, spicy soy toasted sesame sauce for about an hour and then cooked them up, and they were really delicious. They were so good that a couple days later, I decided to make them for my family for dinner, but I was running short on time, and so I skipped the marinating step, and I made them the same way other than that, and I was like, these are actually better than what I did the other day. And so then the side-by-side comparisons had to start, and then I did 3 batches side-by-side, one marinated for half an hour, one for an hour, and one not marinated. And hands down, the not marinated ones were the best. Now, you might have guessed why. The reason is that the marinade was actually like denaturing them a little bit, kind of cooking them, making them a little bit flaky and actually a little bit tougher. And so when I didn't marinate them, when they just had all that delicious sauce on the outside and cooked in it, all the sauce flavor was there. The salmon tasted delicious, but the texture was just like beautiful, just cooked salmon, not overcooked, not too flaky, not too tough. So do not marinate these in the delicious sauce, but definitely do make the sauce. Okay, so how do you make these? I will start with the sauce and then with how to cook them. In a medium bowl, combine a tablespoon of toasted sesame oil. Now, if you just have regular sesame oil, I say don't even bother using it. Just use like a neutral flavored vegetable oil or something. You really want that toasted sesame flavor. And then 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, or you could use honey or any syrup that you would like, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. You could actually use any kind of mustard here that you have, that you like the flavor of, but I would say don't use anything grainy because it makes the sauce kind of gritty with those little bits in it. You know what I mean? So I've called for 2 tablespoons Dijon, and that's what I think works really nice here. And then you're going to add some hot sauce. It could be sriracha or whatever kind of hot sauce you like. I am telling you to start with half a teaspoon, and then later, once your whole sauce is mixed up, you can taste it. And if you want it spicier, you can add up to 2 teaspoons, okay? Then a half teaspoon of ground ginger. You could use fresh chopped up. It's just a little bit less convenient. But also I find since we're not marinating this and since it's just going on there really quick onto the salmon and then being cooked, the ground ginger spreads out its flavor into the sauce much better. Okay, so mix that up, give it a taste, decide if you want to add up to another 1.5 teaspoons of your hot sauce. And then you're getting a pound of skinless salmon. You really don't want the skin on here. You know, I love the crispy skin when it happens on salmon. It's not going to get crispy here because our pieces are going to be too small. It's not going to cook and get crispy. So don't have the skin on there. It'll just be kind of slimy. If you have to remove the skin, remove it or buy it without the skin. You can use fresh salmon for this, or you can use frozen salmon that you've thawed. And then you cut it into 1-inch pieces. It is best if the fillet of salmon that you have here is kind of an even thickness throughout. And then your 1-inch pieces are going to be like cubes. You know what I mean? If that isn't what happened, if yours is like really narrower or like thinner at one end than the other, just make those pieces a little bit bigger than 1 inch. Okay. Okay, so now you've got your salmon cut. You're going to toss that in your sauce. Just give it a good toss. Then get out a large skillet and heat a tablespoon of cooking oil, like vegetable oil, grapeseed oil, whatever you like to use. You're heating that over medium high until it's like shimmering, really, really hot. Sort of like move the pan around so it's evenly distributed on the bottom, and then add your salmon pieces in a single layer along with just any of the sauce that sticks to them, not all the sauce from the whole bowl. We're going to add it, but a little bit later because we don't want it to burn in there. We just want to add it closer to the end. Okay. Now you cook until they're brown underneath. It's going to be about 2 to 3 minutes. Then use a rubber spatula to scrape all of the sauce from the bowl over top of that salmon, and then kind of turn the pieces in the sauce and then flip them so that they have an unbrowned side down. Then you're going to cook them just until they're browned underneath. Now here, what I'm going to say is if you are comfortable not cooking your salmon all the way through, having it be like a little bit more medium, they're going to hold together better. If they're cooked all the way through, then they're flaky all the way through, and then they're going to break apart more. If you want them to just stay as those bites that are going to like hold up to a toothpick. Then you want to just slightly undercook them. So just until they're brown on the other side, and then you're done. But if you want to make sure that they are at that recommended safe temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the minimum for salmon, you're going to cook them until they are flaky all the way through. It's going to be about 3 minutes. So like just like 1-ish minute till they're brown underneath, if you're okay having them a little underdone, or all the way through about 3 minutes. Then transfer the salmon from the skillet to a serving platter along with any sauce that's in that pan. Let them rest for just a couple of minutes. That's going to help them firm up a little bit more too, so that they're less likely to flake apart. And then I like to sprinkle them with a couple tablespoons of chopped green onions and a good teaspoon of toasted sesame seeds. Really plays up that toasted sesame oil flavor. Delicious. I will put the link to this recipe in the show notes for this podcast episode, or you can head to cookthestory.com/ROTD and get it there. Everything there is arranged by date, so it's helpful to know that today is January 30th of 2025. If you love my recipe ideas, make sure you're also getting them in your email inbox. I have new ideas all the time for you beyond just what I talk about in this podcast. The best place to go is cookthestory.com and then click on Start Here from the menu, or you can go to cookthestory.com/start-here. That's a little bit more awkward, but you get there and then you can sign up for the newsletters there. The other place you can go is cookthestory.com/courses, and then you sign up and I send you a bunch of free mini courses by email so that you become a better cook, and everybody, including you, loves the food that you make. That is cookthestory.com/courses. I'm Christine Pittman from cookthestory.com, thecookful.com, the all new chicken cookbook, and from this podcast recipe of the day. I hope you have a great day. Let's get cooking.